Welcome back to I's eDesign Codemakers Tutorials. This is tutorial number 3 for Tynker game design. Now I'm just going to show you a bit of the code that I've already made and a few things that I can add to it just to give you an idea of what you can do before you get into the tutorials that show you all of the little steps you can take to start putting your own together. So for this one I've got a little dragon and a knight, and we're going to be the dragon and the knight is going to try and get us. First thing you want to do is get a background. So let's go to stage and double click. You want to add background, and I like this one right here. Let's use this background. So now we have a background to do, and I want to have some music playing. So we're going to go to sounds as well and add sound. We want this adventure theme to come in. So now what we want to do is just play sound. And we're going to have the adventure theme play. That means when it starts to go, we're going to have the theme song playing while it's all going on. So we're going to go to our actor now, our main character. And let's change the name of our actor. Let's call our actor Dexter. Dexter the Dragon. So now with Dexter, we've got a few different options here. So we've got when a right arrow is pressed, when a left arrow is pressed, up arrow, down arrow, space bar, and return button, or the enter button. So if we want to just look at what each of these does, when the right arrow is pressed, the set rotation style is left and right. That just means he doesn't turn around or go upside down or anything. He just goes side to side in terms of which way he faces. Point in direction, 90 degrees, means whenever I press the right arrow, he's going to point to our right. If I click on this 90 degrees, it brings up this little circle, and you can pick which direction you want. 0's up, 180 degrees is down, 90 degrees is right, negative 90 degrees is left. And it's going to go, when I press that button, it's going to repeat 5 times, he's going to move 5 steps, and it's going to use the walk costume for this character. And if we do left, it's the same thing, it's just pointing in the other direction, doing all the same stuff. When the up arrow is pressed, same rotation style, we don't want them to turn around or go upside down. This time we're going to change the y-axis. So this board is split into an axis. These lines across the middle are the axes. So the y is up and down, x is left and right. So if I say we're going to change the y by 10, that means we're going to move up 10. If I say change the y by negative 10, it means move down 10. The moving steps is just moving in the direction you're pointing rather than changing the x-axis, but it kind of does the same thing. And then in this one, we're going to switch the costume to fly. So he's going to fly up, he's going to fly down, and then with right and left, he's going to move left and he's going to move right. I'm going to get rid of this grid again. When you hit the space bar, he's going to bite, and when you hit return, he's going to breathe fire. Now we have our other guy. We're going to name him something different. He's a knight, so let's call him Norbert. Norbert the Knight. So for this one, on start, rotation style is the same. We don't want him turning upside down. And we want to repeat until he is touching. We want to rename this now. It's Dexter, not actor. We want to keep doing this until he touches. So he's just going to keep following Dexter. So we want to change this now because once we're going to keep going until he touches him. So he's going to keep going until he touches Dexter. He's going to keep pointing at Dexter all the time. And we're going to make him do a zombie walk. He's got all these different movements he can do. He could run, he could just walk. We're going to do zombie walk because it looks silly. And we can decide how fast we want him to move. I played around with it a little bit. If we just have one step every time it loops through, he moves too fast and it's really hard to get away. But this is where you can change how fast he's going to walk towards your guy. And then I have another rule here that says when he's touching Dexter, a new animation is going to happen, and it's going to do an attack move. And then he's going to have a little speech bubble that says, "You lost, play again," and you can choose yes or no. Now I haven't programmed yes or no yet to actually start or change anything. It just brings up the question at this point. But yeah, so that is what our Norbert the Knight is going to do. And then Dexter we want to code as well so that something happens when he's touching Norbert. And we're just going to do an animation where he makes a roar sound. So let's bring in, he's just going to do like a roar motion. But then we want a sound when Norbert touches him. So we're also going to drop a sound in here. When touching, we'll put it after the attack. Just got to snap it in. There we go. And I'm going to play we'll just play the arrow hit sound effect. So, we'll go back to Dexter really quick. That looks like it's all good. So I'm going to make this big, and we're just going to try playing the game, and I'll just show you how it works now. You'll see when I hit up and down and left and right, you'll see how my guy moves. All the while Norbert's coming after me. And I can make a bite movement, or I can breathe fire. And if I go over here this way, I can go down and try and get around him, and he's going to point to me. So if I go to the other side, he'll turn and face the other direction. And then if he ends up getting me, it just brings up the question, you lost, would you like to play again? There's the arrow sound. It didn't really line up with the actions, but you can play around with where it's positioned to see how it works. But that's kind of a simple way to do a game where you try to get away from somebody. If you do the tutorials that they give you, a lot of the information that I've shown here is gone over in a lot more detail, so you understand every step and how it affects the game. At this point, there's not a whole lot more that I want to show you. I want to make sure you guys get a chance to make your own stuff and come up with ideas. So you can check out the tutorials. It'll give you a lot more information, a lot more ideas. And if you have any other questions, your instructors will be more than happy to help you guys think of some ideas for things to do. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun.